Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. At 24 years old, Walker Kessler is another ideal target for the Lakers. Standing at 7 feet 11 inches tall and averaging 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game last season, Kessler demonstrates great potential as a two-way center, capable of blocking the paint and providing a consistent defensive presence. Alongside Luka Doncic, he would be able to create free passes in the paint and create easy baskets under the rim. The problem for the Lakers is that the Utah Jazz are seeking a package that includes Austin Reaves and several picks. The Lakers are determined not to give up Reaves. The Jazz's recent asking price for Walker Kessler may prove to be too steep for the Lakers. Keeping this in mind, we explore a realistic trade idea that could benefit both teams. The Los Angeles Lakers showed a keen interest in acquiring Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz earlier in the offseason. Although initial conversations presented some possibility of a deal, negotiations came to a halt after Utah expressed its intent to retain the 24-year-old center. In recent developments, the Jazz are reportedly unlikely to offer Kessler a rookie-scale extension this season, effectively positioning him to become a restricted free agent in the summer of 2026. Although Utah's plans involve clearing enough cap space to offer him a sizable contract, this also opens the door for the Lakers to make an enticing offer, given that they will have a considerable amount of free cap space. While this is one alternative, the Jazz have opened the door to new trade negotiations by revealing their demands for Kessler. Unfortunately, the price may be considered too steep, as they expect a package including Austin Reaves and 2 first-round picks. Given the Lakers' current rotation, they will be in no rush to acquire Kessler. But overlooking such a talented center would also be unwise. With this in mind, we explore a realistic trade idea, featuring some amendments to Utah's desired package, that could be in the best interest of both teams involved. Los Angeles Lakers receive Walker Kessler. Utah Jazz receive Rui Hachimura, Dalton Knecht, 2031 first-round pick, 2032 second-round pick. Kessler's addition rounds out the Lakers roster. The addition of Walker Kessler addresses one of the Lakers' most pressing issues, the big man rotation. After coming up short in their attempts to acquire a solid big man, Los Angeles eventually struck gold when they signed DeAndre Ayton on a 2-year deal after he was bought out. While this addressed the need for a starting-caliber big man, the Lakers' depth in the center rotation remains thin. With Maxi Kleber, Jackson Hayes, and Christian Koloko, two-way, filling out the rest of the big man rotation, it is clear that the Lakers need to make an upgrade. On this note, acquiring Kessler would give them the depth they need to be competitive. While Ayton is positioned as a solid running mate to Lakers superstar Luka Doncic on the offensive end, Kessler shows more merit as a rim protector, while also acting as a solid lob threat. At 24, Kessler has shown tremendous upside. His physical tools and defensive instincts make him a reliable shot-blocking big man capable of anchoring a team's interior defense. Although he is limited offensively, he still posted solid figures overall, as he averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game on 66.3% shooting from the field. The Lakers have traditionally benefited from having a solid big man rotation in place, as seen with the 2019-20 championship squad with the pair of JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. Given their title aspirations, this decision could help them take a step closer toward establishing themselves as true contenders. Should the Lakers trade for Kessler now? Acquiring Kessler would undoubtedly help the Lakers bolster their roster. With his defensive upside, Los Angeles could effectively restrict opposition scoring even when the starters rest. However, trading for Kessler this summer could be counterproductive for the Lakers. As mentioned earlier, Kessler, while gifted, is still limited. His shortcomings on the offensive end could create a challenge in boosting the bench's scoring production. Parting with key role players aligns with the Lakers' plans to create a roster built to contend for the title. Yet, Kessler may not be the piece that moves the needle. The purple and gold may see more merit in pursuing him next summer, although his status as a restricted free agent may create an obstacle in completing the signing. Lakers coach speaks on offseason transformation of Luka Doncic and Dalton Knecht. Lakers head coach J.J. Redick is already seeing major progress from his stars this offseason. Speaking ahead of training camp, Redick praised Luka Doncic for raising his standard of play after Eurobasket and highlighted rookie Dalton Knecht's bounce-back summer after hitting a wall in July. "He's embracing this new standard," said Redick on Doncic. "You see him play in Eurobasket, and he's moving better, he's defending. All the things that you saw at the end of last year, where the layoff from the calf injury and the trade had an effect on him. I expect the best version of Luka, and it's my job as a coach to bring that out on a daily basis." The Lakers are all in on the title pursuit this season, but Luka cannot do it alone. If they are to contend, they'll need all hands on deck, including Dalton Knecht, who Redick says has been making steady progress this summer. "Dalton's in a really good spot right now," Redick added. "I've had a number of conversations with him throughout the summer that have been very positive. The guy did too much after the season. In the summer league, he was burned out. He's in phenomenal shape, he's in a great spot mentally, and he's played well throughout September." Redick is entering his second year as the Lakers coach, and it's coming with big expectations. After a successful rookie season, where he led the Lakers to the third seed in the West, the fans expect more, and it has put a lot of pressure on everyone in the organization. For Pelinka's part, he's doubled down on the title pursuit by adding guys like DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart to the roster. He also signed Coach Redick to a lucrative extension that will keep him locked in for years to come. LeBron's future is still up in the air, but his dedication this season is undeniable, and his impact will be major. More than anything, however, the Lakers' success will hinge on Luka's play, and that's good news for the organization. After averaging 28.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 7.7 assists per game last season, he's positioned for a career year in Los Angeles after working all summer to get into shape and develop his skills as a leader and defender. He put on a show at Eurobasket, leading Slovenia with renewed vigor, a slimmer frame, and a chip on his shoulder to prove that he's more than what the Mavericks gave him credit for. Regarding Dalton Knecht, his story is only just beginning. After a turbulent rookie campaign, where he was nearly traded to the Hornets, concerns were raised about lingering resentment toward the franchise. Now, Knecht is set to return this season, having much improved his game and self-confidence. Clearly, the Lakers are banking on Luka Doncic's transformation and Dalton Knecht's growth to push them over the top this season, and J.J. Redick is making it clear he believes in both. Rob Pelinka reiterates Lakers would love if LeBron James retired with franchise. Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James has been a big topic of conversation for much of the offseason. The comments made by his agent Rich Paul after he opted into the final year of his contract led some to believe that he could look to be traded if he wasn't happy with the offseason moves made by the Lakers front office. Obviously that didn't happen, and LeBron finds himself on the roster as training camp is set to begin. But with his contract expiring after this season, he will be an unrestricted free agent next summer, so his future with the Lakers beyond this year is completely up in the air. But as far as the Lakers are concerned, that decision is ultimately up to James, and Rob Pelinka made it clear at their recent press conference that how much longer the superstar plays is ultimately up to him, adding that the front office did what they felt was necessary to allow him to compete for a championship this season. "I think we've talked before, the first thing we want to do in terms of LeBron and his future is just give him absolute respect to choose his story with his family in terms of how many years he's going to continue to play," Pelinka said. "He's earned that right, and he's the best one to talk about that in terms of how many years he'd like to play. We've been very intentional this summer in terms of the pieces we add with Luka and LeBron, once LeBron opted in, making sure that they have the necessary pieces around them to be on a really competitive, strong team. And we built into that and for that. In terms of the future, again, with what I started with, first things first would be for him to be able to make a decision he wants to in terms of how long he wants to play. We're going to continue to honor and respect that and let him speak on that. The most important thing for LeBron has always been competing for a championship, and that has not changed," regardless of his contract situation. It is important for everyone to be on the same page, and from Pelinka and Redick down to James and Luka Doncic, the goal of winning remains the same. The questions of whether this will be LeBron's final year playing period, let alone with the Lakers, will remain, but Pelinka made it clear that the franchise would love for his final games to be played in purple and gold. I think I've said before in a previous question, but we would love if LeBron's story would be to retire as a Laker. That would be a positive story, Pelinka said. The decision on whether to play beyond 2026 will be James to make, and these questions will continue on throughout the season. Even though there was no extension this offseason, the Lakers still value LeBron and everything he has done for this franchise and want him around until he finally hangs it up. And time will tell whether that will be the case. Lakers LeBron James places number 8 on ESPN NBA rank. Even though he will be 41 years old this year and is entering his 23rd season in the league, LeBron James proved that he is still one of the best players in the NBA, making All-NBA second team last year. So it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that he remains in the top 10 of ESPN's annual NBA rank, coming in at number 8. LeBron James wanted a contract extension, but the Lakers refused. LeBron wanted a short extension, but the Lakers never negotiated, creating tension ahead of the new season. LeBron James and the Lakers may be headed for a standoff. According to league insiders, James pushed for a short 1+1 extension this summer, but the Lakers refused to offer it, leaving the 40-year-old superstar frustrated as he enters his 23rd season. He obviously wanted an extension, and it's also clear that the Lakers wouldn't give it to him, one NBA source told Bleacher Report. That's what he was reacting to. LeBron has 1 year left on his deal, which means he'll become an unrestricted free agent next summer. For now, the consensus is that James wants to stay in Los Angeles, but the Lakers are ready for a potential split, and they'll have a big decision to make in July 2026. It didn't even seem like there were negotiations, said one NBA executive. By not offering him an extension, the Lakers put LeBron in a bind. For most of his career, LeBron has never had trouble getting contract offers, but things have changed in this stint with the Lakers. Going into his 8th season with the franchise, his role is vastly different than what it once was, and so is his value. With averages of 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game last season, LeBron's stats are elite but not quite enough to give him priority over Luka Doncic. That trade in February reshifted the Lakers' focus, making James more of a sidekick for the first time in his career. Of course, it has also obscured his basketball future. At 40 years old, LeBron's NBA lifespan was already on the fringe, but the uncertainty of what lies ahead only gives him another reason to call it quits next summer. For the Lakers, this upcoming season will determine what comes next with LeBron. If he plays up to his standards and makes notable contributions on the court, it may be enough for Rob Pelinka to re-sign him to another short-term deal. If not, the Lakers will move on and use James' salary to pursue other stars. With plenty of tradable assets and a new star to build around, LA is in the win-now business, and they won't let anyone get in the way of that, not even LeBron. From James' perspective, this treatment has left him feeling frustrated with the Lakers, creating a real and noticeable divide within the franchise. Now, after 22 years in the NBA, LeBron faces the prospect of leaving the Lakers and joining a new team for the first time in 7 years. Regardless of how it plays out, LeBron is going to give it his all in 2025-26, with hopes of returning to contention and buying himself more time to play in Los Angeles. As it stands, he'd prefer to stay than to leave the Lakers, but he may not have full control over what happens next. LeBron James has built his career on controlling his own destiny, but for the first time in decades, that control is slipping. The Lakers are preparing for life beyond him, and James is fighting to prove he still belongs at the center of it all. Whether he stays in Los Angeles or ends up writing one final chapter elsewhere, this season could be the one that defines how his legendary career ends. Lakers' decision to extend J.J. Redick's contract makes no sense. One season, one quick playoff exit, and already the Lakers are giving J.J. Redick more years on his deal. That's the decision GM Rob Pelinka announced this week, extending Redick despite him still having 3 years left on his original 4-year, $32 million contract. At $8 million annually, Redick was already among the highest-paid coaches in the NBA. Security wasn't the issue. Performance was. And while a 50-win rookie season on the sideline isn't nothing, it ended with an exit in round 1. Redick's rotations in that Timberwolves series were widely questioned, including the infamous Game 4, when he stuck with the same 5 players for the entire second half. ESPN noted no coach had tried that in at least 25 years. The Lakers blew the lead and lost. That's the last impression Redick left, and in LA, those impressions matter. Extending him now doesn't just feel premature, it feels unnecessary. Meanwhile, LeBron James turns 41 in December and is showing the first signs of slippage. His farewell tour is coming. Instead of keeping flexibility, the Lakers are doubling down on a coach who is yet to win a playoff series. Maybe Redick becomes elite. Maybe this all looks wise in a few years. But right now, it reads like a franchise betting on stability for stability's sake. And if Redick's next playoff run looks anything like his first, the Lakers may find themselves stuck with a coach they extended for no good reason. And pretty soon, no LeBron around to make it look better. NBA Insider would be shocked if Lakers don't make big trade this season. The Los Angeles Lakers are heading into this season thinking that they need to win now. LeBron James will end this season at 41 years old, and there are a ton of question marks surrounding LA as the season approaches. Rob Pelinka understands that, and that's why he went out and signed DeAndre Ayton to a 2-year deal to help improve the center spot and Marcus Smart to help the perimeter defense. The Lakers were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference a season ago, so they feel good about the current roster. Still, one insider would be very surprised if they don't make a trade. NBA Insider thinks the Lakers will make a trade at some point. Brett Siegel of Clutch Points shared that he would be shocked if the Lakers don't use one of their assets to make a move at some point this season. The Lakers have a ton of expiring contracts that they can use as assets to make a move to improve the wing spot or the center spot. Those are the 2 biggest areas of focus. Of course, the team has to show that they can be competitive in a very tough Western Conference by the trade deadline to justify any kind of move, even if it is a little bit of an overpay. Los Angeles still has a lot of faith in the current roster to get things done, but there is a chance that Ayton continues his poor play. Then, an upgrade at center would be necessary. The Lakers will likely use their trade assets at the trade deadline. Rob Pelinka will give the Lakers ample time to see if the current roster will work before making a trade. Still, he has too many assets to keep them all in what is a critical season. Wasting one of James' last good years in the NBA is not an option for this organization. They don't want to have him leave without getting at least one more title. Pelinka will have to wait and see what kind of players are available at the deadline before he makes any moves. He needs to make a good decision when it comes to trading assets.